Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, they claim their mom is an abusive liar.
Her temper is completely out of control. Sometimes I fear she'll hit me.
You said that she's called you stupid, ignorant.
That's never come out of my mouth.
You just flat out lied to us on videotape is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I did at all.
Would you like to see the tape again?
And the truth isn't pretty.
If you're going to lie to me, don't talk to me at all. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. After 19 seasons, I've spoken to countless out-of-control teens whose parents have written in begging for my help. But today, we're flipping the script. It is opposite. Katrina wrote in desperate for help with her mother, Monica, who she claims acts more like an out-of-control 15-year-old than a mom of 4 children. Katrina claims her mom is manipulative, irresponsible, in huge debt, practically homeless, and she says she has a terrible temper and uses racial slurs against her own biracial children. Katrina says she fears for her younger sister, Adriana, who is caught in her mom's crossfire. Take a look.
I think my mom is absolutely a bully. If a stranger is out somewhere and does something she doesn't like, she will intimidate them, create a scene anywhere she goes.
She's very manipulative. She's very explosive.
I didn't start anything. What are you talking about?
We did move a lot. There was never a safe place. We couldn't really unpack our boxes because we didn't know when was the next time we were going to move.
I had to leave my house twice and live with my sister because of my mom, even though I'm still 17. My mom does have biracial children and does use racial slurs. She says the N-word with a hard R. She says and things like that.
Dirty Hispanic. She'll spit it out. Especially black people, she'll say they're ghetto. Good thing you're not like them. She used to say that to me a lot. My mom is usually verbally abusive to us, but she has been physically abusive with us as well. When I was older, she would leave me with the kids for a few days at a time. My mom went to college and we would just be really concerned about her. Then when she showed up, she would act as if nothing happened, and if you asked her what happened, then she would explode.
I currently don't know where my mom is living.
I am absolutely worried that my mom can't take care of herself, and it's very hard to babysit your mom who's 40. My mom is very unstable, and I just really don't know if I want her in my life anymore.
Well, daughters Katrina and Adriana join us now virtually. What's your hope today? Do you really think that your mother's going to open her ears and listen, or what's your goal?
My goal is to help my mom open her ears and listen, but I can't promise that's exactly going to happen. But this is the best platform and the best chance in order to give her a chance to do so. Okay,
and Katrina, you're worried about your little sister, right?
Oh, of course I am. Absolutely. I've been worried about her for years now, just about her safety and her well-being and her growing into adult, at such a crucial age of 17. This is the time to get her the help she needs to grow up.
Yeah, and Adriana, should she be concerned about you? Are you in harm's way living with your mother?
I believe so. It's just a constant battle of seeing of where I'm going to live and just everything is like that, because I never know where a safe place will be with my mom.
And when you guys are together, what's it like? How do you get along just moment to moment?
Sometimes we get along great, but then other times her temper is just completely out of control. If something does not go her way, if she doesn't like what I say, she'll just blow up. She'll start cussing me out, calling me names, slamming doors. Sometimes she'll get a little too close, and sometimes I fear if she'll hit me She doesn't, but she gets to the point where she's right there in my face screaming at me.
Okay, and both of you say that she's combative with other people, like out in the world, neighbors, on the street, in a store, or whatever. How does that unfold when you're around her?
Well, for example, if we're in a store together and somebody stares at her too long or stands too close to her, she'll immediately start freaking out and yelling at them and causing a bit of a scene in the store.
Recently, she got punched in the face, and Adriana, you got in a crossfire not long ago as well, and you wound up getting hit, right?
Yes, sir.
What did she do to provoke this?
She was walking through a parking space, and this car had pulled in. And my mom started screaming at them. She's like, "Do you want to get any closer to me? Do you want to hit me? Do you want to hit my kid?" And then it ended up a lot of arguing, screaming, and the woman had called her a white B word. My mom didn't appreciate that, so she said a racial slur back. People that were onlookers came up on her and jumped her.
All right, now, Katrina, she calls her own children names, and you said that she's called you really verbally abusive names: dumbass, smartass, stupid bitch, ignorant. There's nothing she won't say.
Exactly. There's no filter when it comes to her, especially when it's mad. Her favorite word for me, or nickname for me, was smartass, because I would always question what she had to say or give a realistic answer to her, and she would always come back with, "You're smartass, you don't need to tell me nothing, you don't know anything, I know what I'm doing." Just a very arrogant attitude all the time.
Well, Monica says her relationship with her children is not that bad, and they just need to learn to be honest with her. That's the only problem.
I do feel like I am being blindsided by my kids. They do gang up on me because they always feel like I'm lying to them or that I am hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not evil towards my children. I love my children. I do not exhibit jealousy towards my kids. I tell them, "I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you." To think that I'm jealous of their success devastates me. I've been a mom since I was 15, and that's what I did, full time. I did make many sacrifices to keep as much as I could normal for the kids. I would never leave my kids to fend for themselves. If I was gone for long periods of time, it was called work. I'm not perfect and I yell. That's my thing. I'm just naturally kind of a loud person. I don't just go around picking fights with people. That's not who I am. I'm not a mean, vicious individual. I don't go calling around just calling people the word. I don't do that. And I don't call my kids the word because they are black. I was married to a black guy. So obviously I'm not that racist. I have never abused my kids physically, ever. I've never put my kids down, ever. I think my kids are amazing. I'm a very protective mother, and because I am protective and I do defend my kids, sometimes it gets thrown in my face.
Okay, well, Monica's joining us now virtually. Monica, I'm glad you're here because I need some clarity here. My goal is always to unify a family, to get people together and make people happy. Is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
Is there a problem between you and your children?
Oh, yes. I mean, we have a lot of underground issues that we haven't dealt with. In 2012, I found out my husband of 18 years sexually exposed himself to my daughters. And we've kind of just brushed it to the side.
Well, you were saying that that you're not at all verbally abusive with your daughters, that you would never call them names, or your son either, that you would just never put them down, belittle them, be combative with them at all.
Combative, yes, we have been combative. As far as calling names and putting them down, telling them I'm not proud of them or that they are great people, that's never come out of my mouth. When we've been into arguments, of course, things have been said that I wish I hadn't said.
Well, which, hold on a second. Which is it? You said, no, I don't call them names. I don't say things to put my children down. But in an argument, things might be said. Well, which is it? I don't think ever one time ever did I yell in my kid's face, "You're a little blank"?
Okay, and I'm proud of you for that.
And later, when you saw your little sister sitting on his lap, you knew what he was doing.
Couldn't let her suffer the same way I did. It's okay.
In your video piece, you said, "I would never call my kids a name. I would never put them down. I would never do that." And now you're saying, well, yeah, I guess I do.
In arguments, yes, I do. As far as like calling them names, it's, you know, they call me names too. And I'm not saying we're not trying, I don't want to go back and forth, but I'm wrong for that. And I am. But I don't say, oh, you're worthless. Oh, you're not a great person. Oh, you're, you know, I don't do things like that. I tell them you're smart. I tell them I'm very proud of you. I tell them, thank God you're a better person than I was.
Well, do you tell them that they're a dumbass, ignorant bitch and that sort of thing?
A dumbass? Well, like I said, it goes back and forth. I get called a bitch.
Well, I'm not asking about the back and forth. You're the adult. I'm asking you what you say to your children. I'm trying to get an idea of what flows from the parent here.
Yes, you're right. Dumbass, yes, but we're joking. I mean, we joke, Adriana, and okay, Katrina, you're absolutely right. You and I don't joke around like that. I'm referring to Adriana. Her and I have a joking relationship. It's just playing around, and I'm sorry
no, it's just, if you do take it to a joke, like, I understand when it's a joke, but when I do jokes in certain situations like that, you take it to a context that's too far, and you understand that it's a joke, but then you get offended by it and you cause more drama with it.
And didn't we have a conversation about that, okay, since we both get a little sensitive about it and we both, you know, obviously hurts our feelings at some point, that we would stop doing that.
Well, let's listen to some of this knee-slapping humor.
Oh, yes, I was, princess. Okay, fine. Eat what you want. Brandon.
See, you're getting defensive, so you really do.
No, I'm not. You're accusing me of something that's wrong.
You're getting defensive.
You're accusing me.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah. You know.
You're getting all defensive.
You obviously don't know how to listen.
If you
obviously don't know how to
why are you getting so
listen. That's why you
defensive?
never do what I asked.
Why are you getting so defensive?
No,
When I
because
asked
you're
you.
accusing me of stealing from you, and that's not okay.
Yeah, you did it.
Really,
You're getting
Brandon,
really
I did it?
defensive. Yeah.
Really?
You're getting.
Okay, you asked how much money I'm supposed to give you. And don't ever ask me to get your check again.
That's joking around?
No, we were in an argument in that one. We were in an argument, and if
Because
I didn't know that we...
Listen, I've got kids. I've been married 44 years. I've got grown children. I don't think ever one time, ever, did I refer or yell in my kid's face, "You're a little."
Okay, and I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I'm not perfect, and I have a lot to work on.
That's a long way from being perfect. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. Like I said, I'm proud that you can be better than me at that. I've made mistakes. I mean, I was wrong for that.
You just flat out lied to us on videotape is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I did at all.
Would you like to see the tape again?
I mean, I know what I said, sir. I know exactly what I said. And I'm not sure why we're bringing Brandon into this when he's not here.
The reason we're focusing on this is because I don't want to spend all of this time building a house on sand because any of y'all are lying to me. I don't like people telling me something that's not true, and then everything else I say is based on something that's not true, and you've wasted all of the time that you spend here. If you're going to lie to me, don't talk to me at all.
Okay.
I just want to let you know, if there's one thing my mother did right, is she raised us to respect people, especially authority. And I have never called her names. I have never called her a cuss name once in my life, just because I respect her being my mom. So her saying back and forth is untrue, 100%
Well, let me
untrue.
tell you, what you two don't know is what your mother grew up with. Your mother didn't grow up with a silver spoon in her mouth. Your mother didn't grow up with a great childhood. Your mother is trying to feel her way along and figure out how to do this on her own. So you weren't there when she grew up, and I get that, Monica. I get, I'm not trying to make excuses for you here, but I get where you're coming from. I just want us to all be honest here, okay?
No, I agree, and I'm trying to be 100% honest, so I apologize if I said that the wrong way. I really am trying.
Coming up, we're going to add Monica's son, LaRon, who says his mom's anger is out of control, and she will say whatever she can to win an argument. We'll be right back.
My mom is a very hostile, combative person. The last time she got evicted, she barricaded herself in her room with my younger sister, Adriana, until they got in, handcuffed her, and took her to the police car.
And fade. Ready effects to 41 in 3, 2. Roll 41 and trap.
In July of 2019, my mom left to go to a wedding for a week, and she only left my siblings $37 to eat. I went to go visit my siblings, and I gave them groceries, gave them money for pizza, and sort of tried to help get in contact with her. My mom went to college. We wouldn't hear from her, sometimes days, for overnights, and we would just be really concerned about her.
Katrina and Adriana say their mom, Monica, disappears for days at a time and then shows up as if nothing ever happened. Now, their brother, LaRon, says he has to be the safety net for their mother.
I am the second oldest of my 4 siblings. I was finally able to get out of the house when I turned 18. My mom is a very hostile, combative person. Living with her definitely is like a roller coaster. My mom's temper is easily her biggest flaw. Her hostility knows no bounds. It even goes to strangers in a store, strangers on the street, and our neighbors. My mother lies all the time. It can come from her not wanting anyone to know where she's going, and it can even stem from her paranoia. Most times I do question if she even has a grasp on reality anymore. My mom is completely irresponsible with money. She doesn't pay her rent, which leads to her getting evicted. The last time she got evicted, this past September, she barricaded herself in the apartment, and once the police broke through that, she then barricaded herself in her room with my younger sister, Adriana, until they got in, handcuffed her, and took her to the police car. Right now, me and my siblings have no idea where she is living or where she goes. I just want my mom to acknowledge all the damage she's done to me and my siblings throughout our childhood so that we can move forward and have a relationship with her.
LaRon joins us now virtually. What does she do to message you that that's not okay, that your father was black?
I never, ever.
Just the way that she talks about the black experience in general, just as my sister said, like ghetto and ratchet were very common vocabulary when we're referring to.
I don't just do that with black people. I don't just do that with black people. I do it with everybody. I do it against myself.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Exactly. But I'm not like, but don't label me a racist ever, because I'm not. I only react to people who call me racist names.
No, that's not true. Unfortunately, it's not.
Okay.
Even if somebody looks at you the wrong way, or one time there was a black woman security guard who walked in, and immediately my mom goes, "Do you see that bitch over there? She looks like one of the mean bitches." And I just stood in shock because I was like, "Mom, you don't even know her. Why would you say that? She's here watching your kid just like you are." And it hurts me because
I do not remember that. If I did,
there's a lot of things you don't remember. I know.
Well,
unfortunately, yes.
But unfortunately,
Mom, that doesn't make it
I forget
okay.
things. No, it
But
doesn't
I'm
make it
human
okay
too.
at all.
You don't have to be bigot, or you don't have to be
the thing is,
judgmental towards
Katrina, you can't, you yourself do that as well. I
No,
don't
ma'am.
want to do
No,
this.
ma'am.
Okay.
That is not true. I don't
Okay.
actually. I'm very against racial slurs and discrimination.
Well, you say the N-word. You say
No,
the
ma'am.
N-word. Is your
I do not.
Yes, you do, Katrina.
The thing is like you can always make an excuse for ignorance, but if you say and sit here and say, "Oh, I understand that," but why don't you change it? Why don't you realize that and change it in yourself to not be so ignorant towards other people? That's what doesn't make sense to me. You've always said it before. I'm not racist. I'm not racist. But why aren't you acting that way? And I think that's where a step needs to be made, is because you're not holding yourself accountable for these actions that you're doing at all. And
If
I
I
love you
wasn't,
tremendously.
Adriana, if I wasn't holding myself accountable, I wouldn't be here. I'm trying my best to hold myself accountable.
Well, we have to take a break, and then I want to talk about something that is much closer to home. Coming up, we're going to find out what the sisters say was the final straw that broke this family apart. That's next.
Pause. Go 6 dissolve. Is she sleeping? Oh. And fade. Thank you. It's music. Show you good? Ready 2. Dissolve 2Q. Go.
I'm here with Adriana, Katrina, Monica, and LaRon. Now, Katrina says her family became even more broken when she finally revealed abuse she had experienced at the hands of her stepfather.
The problems with my stepfather started when I was around 10 years old. I started noticing him making advances towards me that were inappropriate. He would leave notes under my bed or tape them in my closet saying, "Oh, if you ever want to know how to be an adult, you can always come to me and I can show you how." And then he would leave candy under my bed. I caught him trying to videotape me in the shower twice. The first incident was on a cabinet that we had behind our toilet. And the second time was a stranger time because that same camera, it was taped inside of the toilet seat rim. But there was numerous times where I would see him try to get a handheld cosmetic mirror and look under my door to watch me get undressed. It was about 5 years that was going on. I did not tell my mother. I knew if my mom knew, she would kill him. That's why I did it. She found out in 2012, the day I went to school, and told my counselor. My mom told me she did break up with him immediately afterwards, and he did give up and go turn himself in that night, but he was arrested, was charged, and he has to register every year as a sex offender.
Well, Katrina, I'm very sorry that happened. And when you told your mother about it, she reacted, correct?
Yes, and she reacted exactly the way I thought she would. Very shocked, very upset. She felt it was her fault, even though, of course, it wasn't at all.
But she had your back when she
Yes.
did find out.
100%, yes.
Yeah, and Monica, as I say, you had your first child when you were 15, and when she came to you, you stepped up and did the right thing at that time. And, you know, Katrina wrote a letter, and she talks about that in the letter. I want to read part of this letter. She says, "The day has finally come where I write to you. I should have done it years ago when I first wanted to. That's my biggest regret. I'm now 23. I was 14 when I wanted to come on the show. I should have done it. Things would have been normal. I'm at my wit's end with my mom. She's 40 and acting like 15. You then go on to talk about what happened with your stepdad, and you say, I saw my little sister sitting in his lap. My stepdad and I exchanged a look, and he knew what he was doing. I carried the whole world on my shoulders, knowing this was the day my family would be even more broken. But this had been happening to you, and then when you saw your little sister sitting on his lap, you knew what he was doing, right?
Yes, I did. First time I saw him do it and we exchanged that look, I'll never forget that look. I couldn't do it. I couldn't let her suffer the same way I did.
Right. So this did have a big impact on the family. And
yes,
Adriana, you were in his lap at that point, and your sister blew the whistle. Did she blow the whistle in time?
Unfortunately, the situation did happen, but it only happened one time, and that night I told her everything, and she told me everything. And then at that point,
It's okay.
It's okay, Mama. You're doing good. You're doing good.
And at that point, we both realized that things needed to happen and things needed to change. And I'm 100% so grateful for what my sister did and what she continues to do for me.
Listen, if nobody in the adult generation has said it to you before, let me tell you now, I'm really, really sorry that happened to you. Katrina suspects that there's more to this story. We'll talk about that after the break.
Back starting 41. Roll 41 trash.
When I found out what my husband of 18 years was doing to my daughters, sexually exposing himself, I was disgusted. I was angry, and I was shocked. I wanted to hurt him. The moment I found out, I ended the relationship. I never saw him again. When I heard he went to prison, I felt happy. I felt now we could start over.
Well, Katrina says that she suspects that her mother, Monica, still has a relationship with her stepfather, despite the trauma that he's caused the family. LaRon and Adriana say Monica is getting money from her ex, but they don't know where it's being spent because she's always broke. So, Monica, are you still in contact with this person?
Yes, I get child support from him.
Do you still have a relationship with him?
No, not at all.
We have a statement from your mother
Goodness.
that has weighed in on a lot of this, and I think we should, because it's generational, I think we should add this. She says, Monica is staying with her ex, the same man that molested her daughters. When I found out, it broke my heart. It's the ultimate betrayal. She's been getting money from him the entire time, probably years. We don't know where the money is going. She is always broke and can't keep up her bills, moving from place to place, sometimes sleeping in cars. She believes that you have an active relationship with this man and, in fact, are being intimate with him.
I'm confused. I don't know how she gets all this when I don't talk to her. We have no relationship whatsoever. So I'm a little confused in how she knows what I do day to day with my life.
Well, I'm not interested in how she knows. I'm interested in whether or not she's right.
Oh, no, not at all. She's not right at all. Absolutely not.
Then,
Mom, where are you living right now?
Then where
I'm
Where are you living?
I've been staying in hotels.
No, you
That
haven't. Where
doesn't
have you
make
really been living?
sense.
But how do you guys know when you haven't called me, you haven't texted me, you don't know what I'm doing?
No, this doesn't make sense at all, because if you're saying that you don't have enough money, we got evicted because you didn't have enough money, you weren't paying the rent, then how in the world are you able to pay for a hotel weeks at a time? This doesn't make sense at all. And the last time,
our rent was $18.95 a month. I finally got up to par on everything. I got a nice apartment, things were good, and then coronavirus hit, and I was out of work. There was no work.
No.
And Katrina, you can't shake your head. They are making, statements that are just not true.
then what is true?
Then what is true?
I'm trying to tell you what's true, and you guys are telling me I'm lying.
What were you doing every first of the month for 3 months not paying rent? Where was that money going?
And you
why weren't
also
you
had
turning
child
it in?
support money. from
Where I don't
you had
understand
that
where
child
that
support
went.
money.
Child support money was $400. Okay, I cannot pay $18.95 in rent for child support. I was not working because of the coronavirus.
Well,
And
I'm trying to get to the bottom of this so I can understand how to help. But if everybody's playing just CYA here, then I don't know how to help you. You know, I've been doing this. I'm in my 19th season. People should figure out I have resources. I know people. If people tell me the truth, I know things. There are things I can do. But I can't help people that come here and give me a bunch of yeah, just to make themselves look good in the moment. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, season 19 is underway.
If you never made it to Hollywood to be a part of the studio audience, well, now it doesn't matter. If you're in Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas, New Jersey, or anywhere else in the world, now you can be a part of our virtual audience.
All you need is a computer and an internet connection. Go to drphil.com and click on Be Part of the Audience for more information.
That's right. Hope to see you soon.
Roll 43 track.
My biggest problem with my mom is she didn't really stay with me through the hard times in life when I needed her. She wasn't there to teach me how to drive. She didn't teach me how to do taxes. She didn't teach me how to get a job or how to dress for an interview, how to apply for colleges. She just sort of left me to the wind and had me figure out everything on my own. I do have anger towards her about that.
Well, Katrina says she's become the sacrificial lamb of the family because she's the oldest, so the parenting responsibilities fall on her when they're not handled by Mom Monica. It doesn't mean Monica doesn't do anything. I mean, you've obviously done some things right, Monica, because the 3 kids that I'm looking at here didn't turn out the way they did completely by accident. So you've done some right things here, correct? Guys, you admit she's done some right things, right?
Absolutely, she has, yes.
All 3 of you say that. And you say up until 2012, things were a lot better than they were after 2012.
Yes.
So, Monica, they're not here throwing you under the bus. They're here saying it's time to up your game. They're here because they love you. They're here because they want you in their lives. And you seem to not be able to recognize that you are surrounded by the few people in this world that you can trust, that do love you, and in spite of your flaws, do love you and recognize your value in their life. But yet you run from that and fight that and do everything you can to test them, to try and prove to yourself that they will leave you and betray you like everybody else in your life has done every step of the way. Monica, they're still here. They love their mother, even when their mother's not lovable.
Well, I get it. I'm not easy to love at all. I know I'm not, and I admit that.
And do you get that you can make some changes here, that it's not too late, that you guys can have decades ahead where you can be happy as a family? You can be there when children are born. You can be there for so many milestones in their lives, and they can be there with and for you if we can just stop all of the game playing and the lying and deception and misdirection. If everybody could just decide, you know what? It's time for transparency. It's just time to be honest. And
it's
Monica,
time to stop bashing about the past. We have to stop. We all do.
well, you're the parent. It
And
begins
yes, I
with
agree.
you.
Oh, yes, and I agree, and that's why I'm here. Because I don't know how to do it.
Well, there are 2 categories that you have to focus on And I'm going to tell you what they are right after the break. Before the break, I said there are two categories, Monica, that you need to focus on to start bringing about change here. Category one is a list of things that you as a parent need to stop doing. And then category two is a list of things you aren't currently doing that you need to start doing. And those are two different things. Like, example of what you need to stop doing, you need to stop parenting like you're a teenager. You need to start engaging them as the intelligent, articulate young people they are. And you need help healing up some of the scars that have been left all the way back from your childhood, Monica.
Yes, sure.
And I'm going to offer that to you. I'm going to offer to help you with that, to get you some professional help that will give you an opportunity to find a way to reroute some of that rage, some of that fearfulness that you have, and to pick up some new competencies. And I'm going to do that in two ways with you. Number one, I want to get you an individual professional therapist through Doctor On Demand, which is a company that we actually own. My son founded it. It allows you to use your smartphone or your iPad or computer to see someone, and I'll set up 10 sessions for you immediately for you to see someone where you can say, look, here's what my kids say. Here's what seems to get in my way. And then something else that I want to do is I want to get you a life coach. Cass Centers is a great organization that has life coaches that work around the country that will help you make a life plan, help you figure out some of the things that are perplexing you. So we're going to get you a life coach and help you through the Cass Centers. And this is run by my good friend, founder, and you see him here on the show, Coach Mike Baer.
Thank you.
And I want to say to you two girls, I'm going to arrange for you to have some help through Doctor On Demand as well. And,
Thank you.
And so, because there's very specialized help available for that, and that should not be something you carry with you for the rest of your lives. If you at home want your own Doctor On Demand, go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Doctor On Demand app. And by the way, we're in COVID right now, and I know that's impacting everybody, and Doctor On Demand is waiving copays for Medicare Plan B beneficiaries during COVID-19 to make it easier for you to see a board-certified doctor from the safety of your own home. So if you're a Medicare Part B beneficiary, your visit will cost $0. So just know that. A special thanks to Cass Center and Mike Baer for offering to work with Monica, and a special thanks to all the people at Doctor On Demand that do so much for us here. If you would like more information about today's episode, you can log on to drphil.com. We'll be talking about this on Facebook. I know. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and don't forget to subscribe to Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret. If you haven't subscribed yet, I know she's my wife, so I'm probably not exactly objective about this because I think she's pretty special. But you don't want to miss out on this because she really discusses all of life's little secrets with amazing guest stars like Jonathan Adler, where they discuss the secret to finding your creative inspiration. And they just have a lot of folks on there. And she has a lot of secrets, and she's ready to share them with you about how to be happy, healthy, and successful in this life. We'll see you next time.
you'd like to be part of our virtual audience and you have a computer with a camera, log on to drphil.com and click Be Part of the Audience.